Oh, come on. Yeah, I already said go live. What are you doing? All right, we are live.
Cool.
And I remembered to click it on Instagram this time. So there we go.
You're not
I
gonna halfway through the show again?
fuck man. Fucking boomers. I swear to God. I need to die already. Oh my God.
Let's see. Oh, there it is. As soon as more people go in, I have Martin Davis's history as being the Raiders owner in
Oh yeah.
14
That's
seasons.
no division titles, losing record.
Something to talk about when people start to fill in here.
Can you type a comment in the StreamYard comment and see if I can see? Because I don't think I can see those, to be honest with you.
Like right here?
Yeah.
Like right
See,
there?
I don't know if I really see those.
Well, there's a private chat in the comment section.
Yeah. So the comments, titles, losing record. What the hell? Oh, it's the reverb from the Instagram Live.
Yeah, I pull both up. I try to pull both up. Oh man.
I do split screen.
Oh, cool. How we doing tonight, everybody? Obviously the Raiders aren't performing as well. It's me and Josh every Tuesday, Raider AQ, the GOAT 209. And another Tuesday, trying to figure out this team, what they're doing. I think the only thing so far they have protected is the tank.
I mean, I don't know the last time we had the number one overall pick. I'd have to look it up. That's something I don't know. I don't even know.
Well, Russell was Russell the number one pick? He was, right?
Was he?
I believe so. LSU. I believe he was the number one pick at the time.
I don't know if we've ever had the number one overall.
We're doing good and still awesome. Just, hopefully the Raiders one day will be good before we both leave this earth. I think that's what we would like. We'd like to see at least one championship in our lifetime.
I mean, I want to not be shitting myself when they actually win one.
Yeah, right. I want to be able to, be plastered somewhere.
I mean, we'd be. Oh yeah, Jamarcus Russell was the only number one pick we've ever had.
Yeah, Jamarcus. That's what I would have said.
I literally just pulled up our draft history because I was curious. I didn't remember if he was number one overall. I know he was like top 5.
Yeah.
But yeah. We did perfect it. This is the first. We're like, holy shit, Tankathon 2024. We got the number one pick. I saw that. I'm like, no fucking way. So for those that don't know, like I keep saying, Tankathon is the most accurate, up-to-date information as far as draft pick because it takes your entire schedule of who you have played and who you're going to play and gives you a strength of schedule. So that one is up to date every week. So keep an eye on it. It's for us to swing a tenth of a point, like from a 54 winning percentage to 53, is literally just a matter of 3 or 4 games. It's that close getting a number one overall pick. So you can go from 1 to 3 in an instant if you have the same record. You just gotta be careful. Be careful.
Any meaningless win will definitely take us out of the number one spot. Especially with these games coming up. I believe there was a strength of schedule. If we win any of these games, we can easily drop to 3 or 4, and that pushes out of the Shedeur Sanders. And obviously, this past week, Shedeur made his post on Instagram that went super viral of him passing by Allegiant Stadium, and it said legendary.
You know why he was there, right? Or no?
Yeah, he was there to accept an award.
Yeah.
But he's still giving the Raiders their clout. He knows what he's doing. He's not dumb. He's not dumb. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's giving the Raiders their clout that they want. I mean, he says legendary. I mean, but the stadium has only been open for so many years. There's not really anything legendary about the stadium yet. He's obviously talking about the organization.
As a young player, this is what I see. I see billions and billions of dollars in the gambling industry. I see a stadium that hasn't won anything, and then I also see all the deals, the marketing deals, and the sponsorship deals I can get, as well as no income tax. That's what I see when I'm a football player if I go there.
No, definitely.
The amount of money you can make outside if you're an actual good player and you take the Raiders to greatness is insurmountable. Like you could make enough money to buy part of a team like Tom Brady did. Like that's what you can do in Vegas. And I think that's appealing to somebody that's trying to make their name, trying to branch out from their dad, somebody that has that clout around them, like Sanders. There's no other player that has that much clout around him that's going to be coming out in the next 5 years besides Arch Manning. That's it. And as far as social media presence, Arch isn't like Sanders. It's just he's not there that way. He's about that business, comes in, goes to work, doesn't really say too much. But other than that, like Sanders can make a killing and a name for himself out there in Vegas.
Yeah, and I mean that's a good point. That's something I've never thought of yet. But being in Vegas, being the city that it is, the destination, I mean, I think the city can finally get behind somebody like Sanders.
Yeah.
Raiders haven't had an identity since they've got to Vegas. I think that it'd be nice for them to have some type of identity, and I think Sanders can bring them at least some type of identity. I don't know what it will be quite yet, but he's gonna get a lot of endorsements. He's gonna be with the casinos. I mean, he'll do well in Vegas.
Somebody
How much money
asked
has the Raiders gained? Go ahead.
the Raiders. They asked the net worth. So the Raiders are worth $6 billion now. I want to say they were 2.
Yeah, I believe
They were under 3 when they moved. So they've doubled in price. So they went from probably about, I think it was like 2.5 to 6 point something billion since they've been in Vegas. So they've gained a worth of $4 billion. That's why you saw Mark Davis sell off some of the team. He's like, oh, I'm going to pocket $500 million for not doing shit. You know,
yeah, he's liquidating some of his assets. That's basically what he was doing.
I know everybody's like, oh, he's selling to him. I'm like, no, he's putting some money in his pocket and deserves, because the franchise is actually worth something now. I remember when his net worth was $500,000. Like he was the poorest owner in the NFL. That ain't no more.
Him being the poorest owner in the NFL wasn't too long ago. I mean, before 2015, I believe he was the poorest owner in the NFL, and then the Raiders started. You know, they got Carr and they started winning a little bit, so he went up a little bit, but I believe he's in the top 10 now. He's right behind, I want to say, you know, franchises like San Francisco and so on.
So somebody asked, do you pass on Hunter and that Sanders is Fields 2.0? Right off the bat, Sanders can't run. Okay, I hate to break it to you. He's not a running quarterback. He's mobile and athletic, but he is not a runner. I think he has negative rushing yards this year, too, to begin with. Because the way college does
rushing yards are sacks.
Yeah. God, excuse me. Coughing. As far as him being Justin Fields, that's not going to happen. And Travis Hunter, I'm going to point out this exactly. You can't guarantee who you're going to get in the draft. I've been pounding my head against the wall this all week. Everybody's like, tank for Arch, tank for Arch. We literally fucking tried to trade up this year and couldn't do it. There is no guarantee you're going to get a quarterback. So if there's one there that you think is going to be a starter, going to be in the league for 10 to 15 years, going to be in the Pro Bowl caliber as a first-round grade, you take it. You have to take it. And if the next year you still suck, i.e. Kyler Murray versus Josh Rosen, you take the one that's better and you say, fuck off. Like, that's what you do in the NFL nowadays. So this whole tanking for Arch, he's a generational quarterback with a pedigree that's there's nothing else like it. You are not getting his pick unless you have, and let's say somebody drafts Cam Ward and Cam Ward comes out and balls out, you know, for whatever fucking reason. Or if, say, you know, somebody like Jaden Daniels gets injured and the Commanders get the first pick, yes, sir. That's the only way you're fucking trading for Arch Manning. Not going to happen. You know, it's not going to happen. So I hate to break it to people. Stop saying that. Stop believing in fantasy land.
Yeah, I agree. Archie Manning, I mean, he won't be till next year anyway. Right now, you're in the main position with 4 or 5 games left to draft a quarterback ready for the NFL. And I think Shedeur is the most, you know, day one starter. In my opinion, he'll have Brady. There's a few Brady comments. Brady is the guy that's going to be for Shedeur. They're already training together. They're already, you know, texting back and forth, as rumors have said. I think it's Shedeur. I think the nation kind of knows it's Shedeur. I think Shedeur knows it's Shedeur.
But, you know, Deion, so to me, when Deion made that post, because that video came around, I told everybody, I'm like, dude, that's from February. Like, that was before there's any draft hype. I'm like, Deion is straight trying to save his ass for fucking tampering. Like, to me,
for sure.
To me, that was a college coach saying, oh shit. Nope, I never. This is an old video. I was joking, trying to show that he's not tampering because he can still get in trouble at Colorado.
Yeah, for sure.
to me, that was kind of like trying to save face with the NCAA. And yeah, it was an old video, and it just miraculously resurfaced. During our losing streak.
Yeah, no, that I seen that too. That's hilarious. I mean, he knows exactly. It's tampering. They're tampering. But it's all right. I mean, if they get caught, I mean, someone had commented. I forget on whose post. Someone had commented, "Look at how many times Brady cheated, and he ended up with 7 rings." They're like, one cheating allegation isn't going to hurt the team.
No. But here's the thing. Okay, look. See, somebody just said take a running back and go with AOC and draft Manning. There's no guarantee. And let's say we get, the 8th or 9th pick like we played out this year, or drop the 12th, 13th like we were moving around. We're not getting Arch Manning. We don't have enough capital to trade for Arch Manning. We literally have to get rid of Max Crosby. Like, I'm telling you right now. Don't live in Fantasyland. It's not going to happen. You draft what's available. Sanders has a first-round grade. Cam Newton has a first-round grade, and you draft them. Look at the Commanders. Look at, the Bears. They just need to learn how to win. Look at Bo Nix. Like, they're all playing well with rookie quarterbacks. Bryce Young starting to come about now. CJ Stroud, like, you're seeing the new wave. Like, you draft the quarterback that's there, and you say, okay, can we ride with this guy? Are they good enough? Is their grade good enough? And people keep bringing up Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett was barely a first-round grade, and the Steelers drafted him like late in the first down. They're like, all right, fuck this guy. Like, he's done. So, like, stop just grasping at straws. We need a quarterback. Period.
And quarterbacks coming out of college, I mean, just from a outsider perspective, if they're picked within that top 15, are better than ever. I mean, back in the day, they would sit for a year or two. These guys are going out there and they're balling out day one. I think quarterbacks right now are better than ever. I say you do what you do. You go get Shedeur Sanders.
Oh yeah. And the only quarterback not playing well is the one that's not starting. Oh my God, what's his name? Michael Penix. Just because he hasn't played, and we're starting to see like, oh fuck, Kirk Cousins might get benched, and Penix is probably going to start starting or play by the end of the year. So that's all rookie quarterbacks that are drafted are going to have a starting job. That tells you something. And not every quarterback you draft is a top 10 quarterback, a top 15. They're not all going to be exceptional, but some will be good enough. Some will be, the player that you can plug in that might win or that can get you to the playoffs, might need a little more help to win a Super Bowl, but it's better than what we have. AOC is not that guy. And this week just showed it again. He had a down game, hit an up game against KC and a down game this week and dumb mistakes.
Yeah. A few questions. We got one right here from I Am Wano. What percentage of the team does Mark Davis own? It's kind of backtracking a little bit. I've seen it. I believe he owns 80. I believe he sold about 20% of his team. I believe he sold it to the owner of Casamigos. I'm almost positive that's who he sold it to, and another investor. I can't say who or know who, but I believe that's who it was.
He owns 47% of the shares, but he is the majority owner. That's what it says right now.
Yeah.
So, and I'm assuming with the shares he has, ownership shares, he has, pull. He can make decisions.
Oh, for sure. So I mean,
you can't join against him and push him out. But I don't. And people keep saying get Travis Hunter. I'm like, cool. Does that mean we're going to draft a quarterback next year and there's no guarantee of who we're going to get? Or people are saying draft Jackson Dart or Quinn Evers
or Milroe or any of those guys.
I keep telling people I beat my head against the fucking wall. Use the past to show what's going to happen in the future. The whole saying, history repeats itself. Second, third round quarterbacks do not fare well in the NFL. Period. They do not do well. And people always bring up Tom Brady. Okay, I tell you this. You remove Tom Brady, you remove Joe Montana. There's 11 Super Bowls. 11 Super Bowls right there of not first round picks. I think it's like something like 35 or 33 of the other 40 whatever Super Bowls were run by first rounders. That's how the NFL wins, with first round grade and drafted quarterbacks. More first rounders make it to the Hall of Fame, Pro Bowl, lead the league in passing, lead their team to Super Bowls, win Super Bowls than any other pick, period. Like you're literally arguing with numbers. And like I did a video on it last year where I literally went through every fucking Super Bowl winner and counted them and gave you the ratios. I'm like, stop drafting second and third round quarterbacks thinking they're going to fucking win you a Super Bowl. like you have like a 10% chance. Like it's a shot in the dark. But people still want to do it. I'm like, cool, go for it. See what happens.
Yeah, and I agree. And I think, I mean, just referring to Shedeur, I think Shedeur is very coachable. He's handled the media very well at Colorado. I mean, they pounded him for the past, 2 years, very heavily. When he gets to Vegas, obviously he's gonna have a lot of media attention because of Deion, but he's handled it well in college already at a young age. So I think the transition is going to be just easier for him, in my opinion.
You see, Sanders got snubbed on the Heisman today.
Yeah,
he get invited.
I mean,
I was like, bruh.
Yeah, but I mean, Travis Hunter is probably the clear cut, probably the best, one of the best Heisman winners.
To me, no. And you know why? Because Gentry is going to break Barry Sanders' record. That's why.
He might. He very well might. He has
a good chance. If Boise State wins, now granted, Barry Sanders did it in like 11 games. If Gentry has 2 playoff games, he's breaking Barry Sanders' record. Because he only needs like 150 yards in 2 games, and it's like he's their whole fucking offense, so he'll get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, to me, if you break a record like that, because don't get me wrong, Hunter's an amazing player, but he hasn't broken any records. There's people that have more receiving yards. There's people that have more touchdowns. And when you're Gentry, there's nobody even fucking close to you in any category for rushing. So, and you're going against all-time records that are from some of the greatest players ever. He's breaking them that ever set foot in college.
The argument with, I mean, he's an amazing player. He's going to be good in the NFL, but the argument is he's not in the SEC, so on, so on.
We're about to see Boise State. I know, you're young. I'm old. I remember when Boise State came to play. And I watched the game. I watched the game where they beat Oklahoma on the hook and ladder. Like I was literally watching that on TV. Like, so I remember Boise State back in the day. Like they were always undersized. They never had top tier talent. None of their players made it to the NFL, and now they actually got some talent because they've always been great coached. They've always had amazing coaching staff at Boise. So yeah, I think they're going to make some ruffles in the playoff year.
I would like to see it. I mean, like I said, I think he's a generational player as well, but that's just the argument that people like to argue. People will argue with the wall if you could. Raider Sweat, thank you for the compliment. We try to stay real. His comment says, want to thank you guys for a good stream. Too many bad ones out there. We try to keep it real. We're not super PG. We come on here to bullshit about the Raiders. We don't get paid by the organization, even though we've been accused of it a few times.
You have?
I have.
I don't get paid shit.
Someone said I was a PR for the Raiders, and that's why I'm saying I forgot what I said. I said something stupid about like Patrick Graham back like week 8. I was like, give him a shot, give AP a shot. And someone was like, "Oh, you're paid by the Raiders. This is what you should be saying."
Oh yeah. If you ever want to see who's paid by the Raiders, just go click on Hondo.
Hondo's posts have been.
This is why I was like, dude, I just now I have the term paid stooges. That's what I call them now. I'm like these fucking paid stooges.
It's so bad, man. Today he posted Raiders make massive move, upgraded Carter Bradley. Like, bro, what? Massive? Are you serious? Like, come on, man.
I mean, when you're this bad, you're grasping at straws. So
yeah. I agree. Kimosabi comment says Raiders drafted in 2007 Russell with the first pick. You never know how things will turn out. I agree. No. You never know.
But again, when we drafted Russell, he had one good year. He wasn't proven. He didn't have multiple years in college.
The bowl game.
Yeah. And so I think Sanders has good games across the board. Cam Ward has good games across the board. And I think from there they've evaluated these guys for 4 years. So they're like, you know what? These are NFL caliber ready quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
But we're gonna see what happens. We're getting a quarterback. Like if we don't get a quarterback, AP's gone next year. There's not a fucking doubt in my mind. We're not. He's not gonna last another year. I'm gonna adjust my camera real quick. Notice my chin was being hidden. Come on,
Dark side. Hobbs is good, but gets hurt every year. Hobbs is on a contract year. You probably won't see him again this year. I would love to see him back in a Raiders uniform, but he is on a contract year, and he's obviously not playing because he knows his contract year. We'll see if he comes back. I don't personally think he comes back. I think Hobbs is going to ask for a lot of money. That's just my personal opinion. What do you think, Josh? What do you think about Hobbs?
So he's a nickel corner. He's not a man shutdown. He's not a number one guy. He's a supplemental guy. If you have a good linebacking corner, good defensive line, he is not a number one shutdown outside corner. So is he going to get that money? Somebody will overpay him. That's the problem. There's always some fucking doofus that's going to overpay for players, and it's usually us. So hopefully this year it isn't. You know, I really think we have a good core pass defense wise. Like we have our fuck ups here and there because we take risks and we have a lot of injuries. So I think our safety needs to improve, and we need a really solid corner. Bennett came out of his shell this year.
Yeah, he's been
Bennett's
well.
going to probably be our number one guy. I think Jack Jones is on the fence. You know, the stuff he said about Raider Nation, he's had some tiffs with AP. So with him, I think it's kind of on the fence if he comes back or not. Hobbs, I think they'll try to resign, but the thing is, he got hurt. When players get hurt, you get kind of a good deal. But there's also teams that are going to be like, "Hey, fuck it, let's throw some money at him, see if it sticks."
Yeah.
So
I believe we'll offer him a contract. I don't think he stays.
Yeah, I can see 10 to 15 million. I'm worried about them throwing money at T. Higgins, giving that guy 25 million a year because that's what he's going to get. And I don't know if I'm comfortable with that.
No, not at all. I believe you commented on my tweet today. Patriots say they're going to throw him to the moon, the contract or whatever the comment.
And you know what? And he'll probably do good. He's a number one. He took a little bit longer to develop.
25 million.
But yeah, he's a number one. We just got rid of an overpaid wide receiver. So we do need a true number one. Jacoby is not a number one. Tucker's not number one. Turner's not number one. As much as I love how Tucker and Turner play, they're not number ones.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, and if you think I'm not lying, like I straight up got shirts from Turner's wife and have my kids wear them to games. So it's like
that's cool.
Like I believe in those guys. Like I support my players. Like I put Sincere in my fantasy football team this week, which he retweeted, by the way. I was like, bro, I have faith in you. And I told everybody, I'm like, you're fucking stupid. I'm like, hey, and two, he's gonna give me 10 points. And he got me 10 points. I told everybody the flex, he's gonna get 10 points.
You know, we can kind of dive into that. We do have a few other questions real quick. We have one from I Am Wano. So if we draft a quarterback, do we sign a veteran and let the rook develop, or do we throw him to the wolves and draft another quarterback in 3 to 4 years?
I'd say 4 if we draft Sanders or Ward. We're getting Sanders, but we're going to keep AOC as a backup. He's a solid backup. Don't get me wrong. He's a solid backup, can step in. If somebody gets hurt, he can win you a few games. If you have to punish a player because, you know, they're doing stupid shit, or if they're making dumb mistakes and they're not learning from them, you say, hey, we're going to bench you and you're going to learn a little bit. Or we're going to have you sit on the bench and we're going to start the other guy to see, you know, so you can learn. AOC's that guy. There's no need to get another quarterback. Minshew's gone next year. We're going to eat that cap space, and AOC's going to be our backup. I mean, that's all there is to it.
Yeah. I'm backtracking a lot today. Sorry, guys. I'm exhausted today. But
I'm tired too.
Hobbs, he's a nickel corner. There's a nickel corner coming from Colorado as well in the draft. Shiloh Sanders.
I think Shiloh's like what, a 4th, 5th round grade.
I would take him in the 4th or 5th. I mean, might as well pair him up. Who knows what he can do? He looked good in Colorado. He had a few touchdowns. He jumps the ball, but that's kind of where he messes up a lot. He tries to jump the route. He's kind of like Jack Jones. Tries to jump the route, then he gets burned. But you want to answer your comment over here from Cameron?
I take a lot of antidepressants. This is no, man. So like I'd say maybe like 3-4 weeks ago, I remember because JT the Brick slid my shit, and I was like, yeah, we're gonna fucking lose. Who cares? Whatever. You gotta have fun. And at that point, I accepted the fact that we're gonna lose. We're gonna have a losing season. We're not gonna be competitive. They're gonna do some dumb shit, and they're gonna evaluate the talent and the rookies they have. And I said that publicly. I'm like, we're done. It's okay. We're playing for a draft pick. We're playing for the future. And that's how I deal with it. We're horrible. We're horrible. Our offense is bad. And all this stuff that, we fired Getsy. We look better. We look so much better on offense. We average less points with Scott than we did with Getsy. Like, I want people to hear that.
17 with Scott,
19 with Getsy. Like, we're worse.
Yeah.
So and AOC starting. So it's just, we are what we are.
This season was set up for failure. I thought Minshew was going to come out. I thought he was going to be a great guy to be that filler quarterback, that bridge quarterback, and he was fucking ass.
So somebody said a question to quarterback drafted. Ben Roethlisberger is probably the best example of that. He came out the gate and started as a rookie, went to the playoffs, and then won a Super Bowl a little bit like a year or two later. Rookies don't win Super Bowls. It's not a thing. But there are people then year 2, year 3. I went Dan Marino, I think year 2 or 3 went to the Super Bowl and lost. There are quarterbacks that go, most quarterbacks, if you look in the past 10, 15 years of the salary cap era, go to the Super Bowl within their first 5 years because they have cap space to move around. So you see that a lot because you're playing on a rookie deal. Or you get that second contract that's not as big and then it blows up. So, like the Niners, watch when Brock Purdy gets paid, the Niners are going to be asked because they're not going to have money to pay him. And he's going to get 30 to 40 million. Or take Dak Prescott getting all that money. And look at the Cowboys. They can't do anything anymore.
Yeah. No, very, very good statements there. When Purdy does get paid, they're going to have to, cut corners somewhere. And that's kind of like with any team, with Shador coming on a rookie contract, Raiders have the 3rd most cap space next season in the NFL. They should be okay, but we fucked this up 14 other times, so I guess we'll see.
We are financially irresponsible.
The Raiders quarterback 1, Camacho, is sincere. It's Sincere McCormick. There's no doubt.
Which I'm pissed off because Norm took his fucking touchdown away and gave it to AOC running. You son of a bitch.
I put a bet in for Sincere McCormick to score 1 touchdown at the one fucking He'll get it this week. They have a tough matchup against the Falcons. I think
the Falcons look bad though. That's the problem. I'm scared.
They look bad, but so did the Bengals when they played us. So did so many other teams, and they use us as a punching bag to get back on track. It's 2024 Raiders.
Yeah, but the thing is, Kirk Cousins, primetime Kirk Cousins, he's so bad on primetime Monday night games. So it's just
that's true. I didn't think about that. That is true.
What? Why did they fucking keep bringing up Sabrina Carpenter on everything?
Every week it's Sabrina Carpenter. And it's always from Emiliano. I don't know. Just for fun, we'll throw it up there.
No, you keep changing your shit to LA Galaxy. I'm gonna go put on my fucking LA FC jersey.
Oh man. So Sincere McCormick is a clear-cut number 1 as of right now. How do you feel if he would be the number 1 going into next season?
I think we need a number 2. We need to draft somebody. There's no doubt in my mind.
I agree.
I'll have to pull up their names. I don't know everybody's name on top of my head. I think we're in up. If we do draft a quarterback, I think we're drafting a running back in the 2nd round. So the guy out of North Carolina is really good, or the one out of Ohio State. Both those guys are 2nd round grades. This whole thing, we can get Gentry. No, it's not going to happen.
Not at all.
If
he does slip, it will be very similar to Brock Bowers, where he should be a top 3 pick. But if he slides, it'll be to 8 max.
Yeah. And whoever gets him, Jesus Christ, if they pair him with a running back like that, if you look at, take the Eagles, for example, they got Saquon Barkley. The Eagles have one of the worst passing games in the NFL, and they still win every game because they have Saquon in that offensive line. A running back can do wonders for your quarterback, make him look amazing.
Yeah. I agree. I think Judkins from Ohio State would be nice to pair up. Sincere has showed a lot of promise. He can probably be a pass back or a running back 2. I would love for him to be a running back 1, but we'll see what they do.
You need a running back by committee these days. So him being somebody getting 10, 15 carries, another guy getting 10, 15 carries, that's a real thing. And it's still to this day, the last team to win a Super Bowl with a Pro Bowl running back was Marshawn Lynch and the Seahawks. It's been over a decade. So Pro Bowl teams that rely on the running game usually don't fare well in the playoffs. They'll make it in the Super Bowl or they'll make it in the playoffs, but they don't win because you need 2 or 3 headed running backs to get to finish. It's just people get wore out. You know, Saquon by the end of the year, even regardless of how good he is, he's going to get beat up by the end of the year.
Oh,
Especially
yeah.
playoff football, man. It's nasty in playoff football.
Yeah, I hope he ends up breaking the record. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Let's see.
There's a quote I'll have to find, like, and it was somebody saying, though, what's the difference between playing a regular game and a regular game and a playoff game? Like somebody said, oh, in a regular game, I go 100%, 50% of the time. In a playoff game, I go 100%, 100% of the time. Like they're out there trying to kill people because they know, like, hey, I'm making the Super Bowl. I'm making $1 million bonus. Like, I'm good. I'm gonna rip that dude's head off.
Yeah, keep going, keep pressing. Yeah, I mean, we do need a running back. We need a lot of things. I mean, we need to play right tackle. There's just endless things, but you can only fix one thing every season. Obviously. Well, not one. My bad. Let me requote that. You can only fix so many things in one off season.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to draft a tackle because they're going to see what DJ Glaze can do. I mean, it's just I don't think they're going to. They spent a 3rd round pick. They're not going to draft another one. If they do, it's like a waste of a pick, and it's just saying, okay, hey, we're over this guy. You know.
Yeah. Let's see. Do we have any more questions here? I try to get to questions, trying to be more interactive with you guys. Me and Josh talked about that last week. So if you have questions, please put them into the comments, and we will answer them to the best of our abilities. We have one right here. If the Raiders win games and move back in the draft, do you think Sanders will be available? He will 100% not be available. 100%.
So we can analyze that real quick. So we're 2-11. Giants are 2-11. If let's say us and the Giants win, there's 8 teams that will have the same record. Right? Let's just leave it at that. Okay, 8 teams have the same record. Out of those 8 teams, the Giants have the hardest strength of schedule. We have the second. So we would be this. If we win one more game right now, we'd be the 7th pick. That's where we'd be that fast. So when I tell people like we need to lose, like you can go from 1 to 7, and then you win another game. Guess what? You're at 13, just like last year.
Yeah.
Don't want it. You don't want it. You're playing yourself out of a quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah. Question right here from Mobbin USA. Do Raiders win Monday? You know, the line, though, man, from Vegas, they always know something. They always have a hand on the public. Raiders are +4 going into Monday.
What the fuck? Well, Kirk Cousins is ass. That's why he looks.
Yeah, but +4 is crazy.
I would take the Raiders +4 because I mean that's you're giving the Raiders points.
You're giving the Raiders +4. I think Raiders do make it close. I think they lose by 10. I think Falcons get back on track. Kirk Cousins, Drake London have a good game. AP will throw the game at the end. He has thrown a few at the end already.
Well, that goes to the next topic. Like, are we in agreement? Like, did Mark and AP have a little chit chat? Like,
all right, I like this. This is gonna be a fun one. Let's dive into it. Did AP and Mark Davis have a chit chat about possibly tanking this whole season? What do you think?
The way AP, so we've seen coaches get fired. We've seen coaches be on the hot seat. We see coaches get frustrated. AP's none of that. He's just chill guy. Mm-hmm. He's like, we got to go out there and play better. Yeah. Hey, we messed this up. Got to fix this. Got to do that. Next week, see what happens.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem angry. Seems pretty chill. I think they had that chit chat like, hey, we knew this year was injury prone. We're not making excuses. We're going to evaluate talent. We're going to get a quarterback, and we're going to see what you do. And I think they probably had that talk. Like next year, you fuck up, you're gone.
Yeah.
This year's a mulligan. Next year, it's on you. I think they had that talk. So if they come out like 0-4 next year, he's cut. He's gone.
Yeah.
Fired.
100%. I 100% agree. I think him, Mark, throw Brady into that conversation. They probably all sat in a room and said, hey, on paper, we're probably not the best team out there. We at the time they had Devontae, they had, a good receiving core. They said if we can get a quarterback next year, we could probably make some noise, but we need a quarterback. We can't just keep going from Minshew, just bridge quarterbacks for the next 10 years.
We like rent quarterback. Yeah, and like I pounded this in so many times. Raiders are rent a quarterback team. We've drafted 2 quarterbacks in the first round in Baranovich and Russell. That's it. I think the last quarterback draft, and then before that it was like 1960, a guy that never played for us.
Yeah,
we draft quarterbacks in late rounds, and we're like, hey, we can fix that guy. Let's go get him.
Yep.
And more often than not, it doesn't work. And then what happens is Raider fans attach themselves like, hey, we got Gannon in 2000. We can go get a quarterback like Kirk Cousins. He can fix us. Like, no, the fuck he can't. Stop. Go draft a quarterback already, man. You know,
I agree. That's I know I've been beating a dead horse, but Shedeur will be a perfect fit in Vegas. Go get that fucking quarterback.
Yeah. And the more I see, and like I was very skeptical at first, and I was very honest about it. I was skeptical because Sanders is a Hall of Fame player and he can say and do what he wants. And it's really hard to clap back at him because he's won at every level. He's won as a player. He's winning as a coach. And you see how he's recruiting and getting these people ready for the NFL. And then he had like a top 25 recruiting class this year or something like that, when last year was like 90th. So and he's bringing talent to Boulder, Colorado. So, and he got the number one quarterback in the nation too, right? I believe so. Number one player.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you see how he's doing. He can say and do whatever he wants. That was the only thing I was really worried about, because he can say, AP, you're not using my son right. Mark, you're fucking up my kid. And they don't have the clout or the aura or the history of winning to say anything back to him.
Yeah.
That would be the only problem. I think if we really fuck up Sanders' career, like the first year, Deion's gonna be all over us, and rightfully so. That's his kid. That's his kid. You can't get mad at him for it. But I think he's starting to take a step back, and you're starting to say like, "Hey, I'm gonna do it from afar and let my son be a man. I'm gonna tell him where he should go." But he's like, "I'm gonna talk to him privately." That's how we're gonna address everything.
Yeah, I think I do think the same. I think my main concern was Deion talking a ton of shit about Mark Davis. It seems like they have a great relationship as of right now. Obviously, losing can change all that shit. But as of right now, they have a good relationship. I don't see Deion the type of guy to go on Nightcap and talk shit.
Or up and Adams and run his mouth every fucking week about us.
Every week. Yeah, I don't see him going on any of those talk shows. I mean, if he does, he'll throw a light jab maybe at a press conference, maybe after a game, but I don't see him going on a full segment like Devontae Adams on Up and Adams and just throwing shade at us for the next 20 minutes. Oh
my God. The things you do to stay relevant, man. It's fucking. I do have a question. The girl. Is she related to him or something? His name's Kay Adams, right? Okay.
No, not at all. I don't know what she does. She works for ESPN. She's been an ESPN girl forever, but she also has like Tyrann Mathieu on. She has like a few of the.
Yeah, I saw some.
But I'm not sure how she does it. I'm not sure what she does, but she does like to talk shit about the Raiders with Devontae.
Yeah. So, and it's just it makes me happy every time he's on there after a loss talking shit, because he has nothing else to do. His career's in the tank. His stats are today. His court, I did a video on it. His quarterback is fucking over there huffing ayahuasca in a teepee, trying to find his soul, and he can't throw a fucking touchdown. And he's going out in that shield like, I'm glad I left. Like, cool. You have a 40-plus-year-old quarterback throwing you the ball when we're going to have a top young contender on our team. You should have fucking stayed. And now you're burning those bridges. So,
dude, the comment today, for those who didn't watch or didn't get to see the comment, she had no question about the Raiders. And Devontae Adams there was no question regarding the Raiders. They were talking about the loss of the Dolphins. And then he goes just on this rant. And then he goes, there's so much more, potential over on the Jets. Being with the Raiders was like having a knife and a rifle fight. And it was just kind of weird because there was no question about the Raiders at the time.
Oh, yeah. And then he said, if you judge the situation, you're just a hater.
Yeah, it's just like, bro, no one brought up the Raiders for you to be making these comments.
Yeah. But I was just like, he's just angry. He's angry. He's mad about his decision, and rightfully so. He thought he was going to go over there and have fucking fun, have his boy. He thought he was going to get Green Bay Aaron. Yeah. And he goes one leg, 40-year-old. Hey, Father Time is undefeated. And I tell people that every year. And because we have the playoffs for fantasy football. So one of my other leagues, I play with a bunch of old dudes in town, and they are fucking cutthroat. But I go in there and I talk shit. And the guy had the number 1 overall pick. And I was like, Father Time's undefeated. I'm like, don't fucking draft McCaffrey. I was like, if I had number 1, I'd pass him up. and he drafted him, and now he's in last place. So Father Time is undefeated, man. So you gotta, when anybody gets 30, approach it as a business decision. You say, hey, this guy is 32 years old. Projections, history wise, are going to drop 15 to 20%. Doesn't matter how much you love the guy.
Yeah. I just want to take some time. I know we answered this already, but he decided to bring it up one more time, and we do like questions. I'll bring it up again. Me and Josh talked about it last week that we do want to answer more questions. So any questions, please feel free to put into the chat. We kind of touched on this earlier in the show regarding this. There's no way to really wait for Archie Manning because he's probably going to be the clear-cut number one pick next year for a team. I think that's all I really have to say. You would have to tank a whole other year just to try and get Archie Manning.
Another year, yeah. And the thing is, there's no guarantee. Let's say we start AOC. AOC is good enough, and if our defense stays healthy, we're good enough to be a 500 team. We're not getting Arch. It's not going to happen. And I talked to somebody about this today, and I was like, so, let's take Eli, for example. Eli was nowhere near as good as Peyton, but he still won 2 fucking rings. Mm-hmm. But for most of his career, he was
only 2 times he went to the playoffs.
Yeah. He was a 500 quarterback that fucking won 2 Super Bowls, which is unheard of. And I'm like, he fucking turned it on 2 of those years, and 1 year he got lucky as shit. Yeah. And 1 year he deserved it. 1 year he got super fucking lucky. I think one was a wild card too as well. Yeah. So
he did. Yeah. The first year he went in as a wild card, he had to beat what was it? He had to beat some team like week 17 to get in as a wild card, and he ended up winning. And that was the year they beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and I would say I think they're their first wild card team to win. Yeah, their first wild card team to win a Super Bowl since the Raiders, like in the 80s, 83. Yeah. So it's just like
16-0. We got one right here from Mob in USA. What quarterback is going to have the best combine? I think the best combine will go to Cam Ward.
I'm gonna throw a curveball. I think Jackson Dart's going to have the best combine, and I think some team's going to fuck up and take him too early.
I can see that. I mean, the combine is very, it's different. It's not like being in a game. You don't have rush coming at you. It's just kind of, I don't know. It's hard to put. Let's see how to say this. There's no rush coming at you. It's not game time. It's all based on, metrics when it comes to the combine. And that's why so many of these combine warriors fail in the NFL, because they go out and have one of the best combines ever. They get taken in the top 10 and the expectations are just way over their head.
Yeah, because they can run fast and jump high.
Exactly.
You don't see people jumping high over linemen or running fast down the field because you're wearing pads. Like, speed isn't everything. But let's take running backs, for instance. Most good running backs run like a 4.5 40. They're slow enough to let the play develop. They're fast enough to outrun people if they need to a little bit. And like Josh Jacobs is one of the slow running backs in NFL, and he's made a career out of it. And he's hit 90-yard runs because he gets going and somebody doesn't have an angle. The 4.7 to a 4.5 to a 4.4 is not that big of a difference when you're running at full speed down the field. You might get caught behind after a little bit, but it's just
a great comment here from Dark Side. It's the underwear Olympics. I agree. I agree. It's the underwear Olympics. I mean, it's
who was the player whose fucking dick fell out last year?
Oh man, only you would know that.
You don't see that? Oh, I have the video somewhere. No. And Jerry Jones would have loved him because that thing fucking bam on the floor. Like, he was running and he like tripped when he was running, and his dick just came out like fucking boom, right? Big old black guy. And he like put it back in, but like on live TV, you saw his whole dick. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Did it raise his draft stock?
Probably. With Jerry Jones is like, draft him.
Chris Jones had it happen 10 years ago. That's a wild memory. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, when you put a 300-pound man in booty shorts, what do you expect to happen?
Yeah, no wonder why some of you guys like the draft so much.
So like when I look at the combine, I look at quarterbacks that are like, okay, what quarterback has like this pure arm? What quarterback can just hit all the throws, but when he's under pressure in the games, has some issues, some problems. To me, that's Jackson. I think he's the best pure passer. It doesn't mean he's the best quarterback. I think he has the best arm. Cam Ward has the most power, But Cam Ward doesn't have the best accuracy all the time. So Cam Ward's going to miss some throws. He's probably going to miss some of those out routes and things like that. But during the game, he hits them, so it's not realistic. Yeah. And you see like the Warriors, you see, what was it? I remember, was it John Ross? And who was the Ohio State wide receiver?
Great combine when he ran that like 4.2 or whatever he
Yeah.
ran.
And then he turned out to be shit. And
Yeah.
what was the wide receiver?
Warriors
It's going to bother me. Somebody will know from Ohio State that the Miami Dolphins drafted in the top 10, like number 7 overall. And he ended up just being like a punt returner. And he was just stupid fast. I can't remember. And Miami and the fans of Miami were all over him. And the guy fizzled out, 4 or 5 years.
Well, look at Lynn Bowden for the Raiders. He was a combine warrior.
Where'd he go? I don't even know where he's playing anymore, is he?
He went to Miami and he was a combine warrior and he never panned out into the NFL. I remember fans saying Lynn Bowden's going to be the next, like Tyreek Hill. I just, random name to throw out there.
Yeah. And that's why I was nervous about Bennett, because Bennett was like one of the fastest cornerbacks in the combine. I'm like, the fastest quarterback in the NFL doesn't equate to the best quarterback. Like that usually doesn't line up. They're usually just fast enough,
Yeah.
But
yeah. A few other things to touch on. Raiders, bad season. The game that everyone is looking forward to against the New Orleans Saints, Derek Carr might not play.
Not might, he's done.
I think he's done. I don't think he plays another game this year. So the reunion with the Raiders and Derek Carr, I don't think happens this year. So if you have a chance, get your money back on your flights.
I already bought my tickets, bro.
Oh man, I'm
gonna go see that Ginger play, whatever his name is, that was on.
You're gonna go see Spencer Rattler versus Riddler. What a game to go see.
You know what the worst part is? Like, I bought my tickets probably like, I'd say fucking 2 months ago. I got front row seats, dude.
You get to go see Riddler versus Rattler. Who knows? It might be a fun game.
Yeah. But, it's just, it's bad.
Well, shit, when we were in Chicago last year, we didn't have a better matchup. Me and you went to Chicago, and, I had seen you at the tailgate, and it was Brian Hoyer versus Tyson Bagnet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I left at halftime. Just got drunk, but.
You left at halftime again?
No, I left my seat. I go back. Hold on. Oh, God, man.
I think I started walking out after the pick six. Hoyer pick six, but. Yeah, so the reunion probably won't happen this year. I don't know when the Raiders play the Saints again.
They don't play him next year. But it's fine. Derek
Carr saves himself from losing to every NFL team this year.
I'm upset because you already know what I got. And so for those who don't know, I'll just say it now. I had a banner made that says, "Congratulations, Derek Carr, for losing all 32 teams." And now I don't get to use it. And now I'm upset because I spent $50 on a banner and photoshopped the picture of him crying on it. Like, I actually had it legit made by a company. So it's great quality. And now I don't get to use it. I might still take it, but
yeah. Maybe Carr will play. There's speculation that he might be healthy, but knowing Derek Carr, why play a meaningless game at 3-12 or whatever the record is at the time?
Yeah. He could be playing for his job, so.
He could be, yeah, but he can go anywhere. I can see him being a Giant next year. I'm just gonna throw some team names out. I can see him being a Giant. I can see him, being a backup quarterback somewhere. I don't want to touch too much too far, but
put him back in New York with Devontae.
That would be some shit. You know how much? Let's not even open that. We got like 12 minutes. I don't think we have enough time to talk about that can of worms. Derek Carr with Devontae Adams on the New York Jets would be fucking hilarious.
All those fucking people that are talking shit to me for years, saying, you're a hater and DC this, DC that. I ain't heard shit from you in 2 years. So what's up? Yeah. Come comment on my page. I'm like, we're bad too, but Derek Carr is just as bad. He was a below 500 quarterback with us. He's a 500 quarterback with New Orleans. So he is what he is.
Below 500.
Yeah. So it's just, it at the end of the day, it's just, I laugh because I tell everybody, I'm like, He'll get you those numbers. He'll get you those stats, but he won't win you those games. He's fucking Dak Prescott. He's Kirk Cousins. He's a quarterback like that. That's just going to get numbers, look good, and then tank when it really matters. And you can't win like that. You can put. I mean, take last year for example. All-star cast around him, top 10 D, best running back in the league, number 1 wide receiver, and what happened? They went 500, and Baker won the division. So it's just who's in first place in the division now? Is it the Tampa Bay?
Tampa Bay, 7-6.
Tampa Bay's gonna win that division, going 9-8, man. I hate that division.
7-6. Yep, Tampa Bay at 7-6 is number 1. But I mean, Carr on the Jets would be. I mean, it would just open up so. Twitter would be a war zone every fucking Sunday.
I just
went to the Jets. You would have. You would have Wi-Fi Willie talking shit on there when Derek Carr wins one game. It would. Do you think
Wi-Fi Willie would wear a Jets jersey?
It would be insane. It would be. I fucking hate. That would be something else.
But I mean that's the other part, and I keep telling people, I'm like, if New Orleans, the problem is New Orleans won a couple games, so they dropped. They were a top 5 pick.
They were.
I don't know. If they drop a little bit, I don't know if they don't get a quarterback. Like, why would you pass that up? Derek Carr's 32 now, 33? I mean, you got an aging quarterback that's been injured the past 2 years with multiple injuries. He injured his leg, he injured his arm. What else did he do? He did have a concussion too, I believe. So he's had
maybe a concussion. Maybe one.
He had multiple injuries over the past 2 years, and he's getting older. He's not getting younger. He's not going to get healthier. He's not going to get better. So it's kind of at the end of the day, you're like, shit, we got to draft somebody,
Yeah.
And if they do that, and somebody was like, oh, they already drafted a quarterback. I'm like, who? Spencer? Like in the 3rd round, that's their future. I'm like, no.
Yeah, and Spencer has not looked good in the games that he has started. They have a quarterback thing over there too, but Derek Carr won't be losing to all 32 teams, in my opinion, this year.
So sad.
What else do we need to touch? Do we have anything else, Josh? What else do we have? We had a few receiver conversations, draft positions.
T. Higgins. We talked T. Higgins. I mean, we need a number 1, and it would save us a draft pick, but I don't think we're going to be able to. I'm not saying we can afford him. I think we're going to get outbid.
Yeah, I think the Patriots will outbid us. They have, mentioned it. You're going to have to overpay for someone just because of the trajectory of how we've been. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm excited for the offseason.
Let's throw some names out there. Cooper's a free agent.
All right. Cooper reunion. What number does he get? Brock Bowers got 89.
He's going to take 19.
No, I know.
and then Stefon Diggs is a free agent. That toxic motherfucker.
Yeah, I think Diggs and Shador would actually be very good together.
The deep ball, but the thing, like, it's like, do you really want to go get a number 1, or are you trying to draft? Because most likely you're not going to get a number 1 in the 2nd, 3rd round. Maybe if it's a high 2nd. And Chris Goodwin's available too. I think he'd be a solid pickup for us.
Chris Godwin, the only thing that concerns me with Godwin, he was a baller. He was number 2 ranked receiver in fantasy. He was playing very well. Injuries, I mean, he might lose a step.
Yeah.
And we might have to overpay for him. So there's 2 negatives there, and I'm just nervous that he doesn't pan out to what he was.
But we do like wide receivers that quit on their team, so we can go get Johnson from the Ravens. So that'd be pretty cool.
I do think we get Mike Williams. I said this before in previous podcasts. We're gonna get Mike Williams.
So he can play 4 games and blow out his knee.
If Tom Telesco is the GM still, we are gonna get Mike Williams, I believe.
Mike Williams and oh my God, what's the other guy? Brain fart. Keenan Allen are both free agents, I believe. I think Allen's free agent too.
I wouldn't see Keenan Allen. I can possibly see Amari Cooper reunion. I believe. I mean, I don't know. If I had to choose, if you made me choose someone on that list that we just named, I think Diggs would be a great fit. I think he would like Vegas.
I think he'd like it too much. That's what I'm worried about.
I think he would love Vegas. For those who don't know, he is a demon. Yeah. So
he's ran himself out of multiple places. That's his problem.
oh, for sure. Yeah, he has.
So
But
it's
I mean,
like, do you really want to deal with that? I don't think they're going to want to deal with that with a quarterback. Like, and like he ran himself out of Josh Allen, who's now probably
MVP.
one of the faces of the NFL. Yeah, MVP candidate, face of the NFL, and he ran himself out of that situation. So I don't think he's coming. I can see Goodwin as a real target.
I would love
Goodwin.
Godwin. Just
I
nervous.
think I think the 15 to 20 range for him would be decent.
That'd be nice. I think so. That'd be nice.
Yeah. And I would take him on. He's 20. Is he 28? 26, 28?
Like 26. I think he's 26, 27.
Yeah. 3-year contract with a 4-year player option. Done.
Yeah.
You know?
I like Godwin.
I mean,
I do like Godwin.
Because we don't need a true number one because we have Brock Bowers. Remember that. People need to remember that because Brock Bowers is going to get fucking paid.
Yeah.
So
one of my buddies
is number one.
One of my buddies over the weekend, he's like, I have no clue how Brock Bowers is always open. He looks like he should be working at like insurance company.
I'm still trying to figure out who has the worst hairline, him or fucking Mark Davis.
It is insane. They're like, I have no clue how Brock Bowers is getting so many receptions, yards. It does not look like he's an NFL player.
No, and like when we stood next to him, we're like, he's not that big. Like he's tall, but he's not like fucking jacked out of his mind. Like you see some players like, holy shit, that dude's ripped. You know, he's not like he looks like a regular guy.
Yeah. Oh man. So we will see going into the season. I am excited for this offseason. I've said it a few times. A lot of cap space. We're gonna have a high draft pick. See what we can do, man. Yeah. So we'll see what we can do. Do we sign Nate Hobbs? We talked about it a little bit. I don't believe Nate Hobbs is back. I believe we do offer him a contract, but I do not believe he does sign with the Raiders. That is my opinion. I think he goes to a contender that throws him similar money. He might even take less. And the nation's going to be all pissed off and say, oh, Nate Hobbs took less money.
Yeah.
Brock Bowers looks like a 15-plus year UPS delivery driver.
Somebody said Milroe will have the best combine. So Milroe is the most athletic quarterback in the draft, period. He if you haven't watched Alabama, he doesn't run like a lot because he doesn't have to because he has so much talent around him. He doesn't run like Lamar Jackson. He has Lamar Jackson speed. Like he's a 4.40 guy at quarterback. He is stupid fucking fast. Yeah. So I don't even know if he'll run the 40. Like, to be honest, I don't know if he will. He just say like, no, I'm good. Because everybody knows how fast he is. But you see players do that. They're like, no, because they're going to throw me at wide receiver. So,
yeah. I believe, let's see, I think that's about it. I wanted to go over this Mark Davis tweet real quick. We got a few minutes. In 14 seasons, Mark Davis is 89-135 as the Raiders' primary owner. 0 division titles, 0 playoff wins, 2 playoff wildcard games, 2 double-digit winning years. Touching on that, I think that's why he's selling off some team. That's why he brought Brady in. He's bringing football guys in, which I like. He knows that he can't get it done. It took him a little longer than expected, but he knows he can't get it done. So he's surrounding himself with football geniuses, and hopefully, they can turn this shit around.
I said last year he finally grew up hair. He finally started doing some of the right things, and you start to because he probably he can never beat Al. Nobody could beat Al, but he wants to make his own legacy, and you're seeing him start to try to do that because he wants to win a championship, to own a team, bring the first championship since your dad, to bring it in a new city. He will be a fucking walking icon if he ever does that. Yeah. So I think he's trying. So he's not all about the money. He wants to win. You can tell he wants to win.
Yeah, and that's why he's fired coaches on the spot because McDaniels. I mean, Gruden had some racist comments, but he's not scared to pull the trigger, and he is growing a pair, and he knows what he needs to do. People are finally in his head. Still stings that Tom Brady owns a part of the Raiders. It happened. It happened. We got to start taking Michigan jerseys to games because he's going to start going on the sideline.
All right, I already got him, man. I already got him. If anybody's going to get an autograph of Tom Brady, it's going to be me. I'm just telling you guys right now, and I will post a video, and that will be framed and will not be for sale. Sorry.
Yeah. I'll be right next to you. I'm only a few rows back.
It'll be a Michigan jersey, man. I will not have a Raider jersey signed by that motherfucker.
No, I don't know. It would have to be a Michigan. I would 100% get a Michigan jersey. I mean, unless you go crazy, you buy a custom Brady Raiders jersey and you tuck it in your. I don't know. Someone's gonna do it. We know how Raider fans are. Someone's gonna end up doing it.
Gross.
Oh, someone's gonna do it. I got money.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna do it. Someone's gonna do it by next year. Someone's probably already done it.
Yeah.
We just haven't seen it. But cool. We are disconnected from Instagram. So we appreciate everyone tuning in. Give us a follow. We'll be back next Tuesday.
All right, man. See you guys next Tuesday. Let's go Raiders.